Why did you start the podcast? What was the goal? Initially, the goal for me, I was always interested in talking to people that are a lot smarter than me to strengthen my own brain and to strengthen my own mind. I definitely had an issue when I was younger and still to this day with like anxiety. I'm a very nervous person, and it was more of a self-development thing. Like I wanted to speak to people and get better at speaking to people and try and subdue some of my anxieties about speaking to new people, because a lot of the time that's where my issues came from. So I think that was the start of it. It was getting over, firstly, my anxiety, but also learning about different stuff, learning about, how people compete in Ironmans and what diet they had and how it worked for them. And then also learning about like keto diets, mental health. There's, we had Dr. Kieran Bong on, who specializes in like lip filler and those kind of procedures. And I find that really interesting. I'm just a very curious person. And it was kind of the backbone of that was that I wanted to get better at talking to these people and I wanted to get better at just not having as much anxiety when it comes to talking to new people. And the podcast has definitely helped in that. Like I can see a definite upgrade in my social skills. And I think that most photographers and videographers, without generalizing, do have an issue when it comes to social skills, because a lot of the time photography and videography is on their own. And when they edit, like I have a little room up here that I edit in, and it's pitch black, and I edit in that room by myself. So a lot of the time they don't get a lot of social contact. So it started as a strengthening exercise to my brain, and it led into a real passion. And I just love talking to people. I love getting different points of view. I love hearing what they have to say and why they have to say it. And a lot of the time I don't agree, but I think that people should be given the grounds to argue their point. Some people think the world is flat, and I think that is absolutely fine. I don't personally, but I think that people should have the grounds to argue their point and to have a long form conversation that isn't politicians just ripping into each other, that come to common ground. I think through social media, we're being shown a mirrored room of our beliefs. And because of that, it's strengthening each side, and it's dividing each side even more so that they don't come together and just find common ground. Everyone is a people. Everyone is a person. Everyone has common grounds. They just don't see it, and they get so aggressive about their specific, points that they don't come together. During COVID, you really saw a sense of community building, and people put aside their differences to come together because there was big issues going on in the world. And then all of a sudden COVID ended, and that ended for some weird reason. So I don't think that people should judge other people because they have different beliefs than they do. I just think that people should try and talk about it, come to a common ground. This is my perspective. This is your perspective. I understand your perspective. And actually, now that you've told me that, I can see differently. It's not a bad thing to be wrong. And I think I've gone totally off the point, but I think that's part of the reason why I started the podcast.